take my mind.
Welcome back to another episode, Saints Tomorrow Today, the hottest podcast in the planet.
Yes, the hottest podcast on the planet. We have another episode for you guys, man. It's black men versus black women. The reason why we title black men versus black women, because it seems like we don't really understand each other, Atara. Like, you know, I've been noticing, man, like I see a lot of black men bashing black women. I see a lot of black women bashing black men. And for the life of me, I don't understand it and I don't get it. I don't have to like you to agree or disagree with you. I don't have to bash you. I cannot agree with you and just go on about my business. You know what I'm saying? But what I've noticed is, like I said, I've seen a lot of disrespect, belittling, and I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? It really baffles me as to why we're doing this to one another. I don't understand why we can't agree to disagree. If I meet a black woman, and she don't align with what I want, I don't have to bash all black women. You know what I'm saying? If it's a particular thing or a particular way a woman is living, a black woman is living, I don't have to bash all women just to make my point. Okay, I meet her, I don't like her, she doesn't meet my needs, she's not the woman for me. Right. Next. It seems like we put each other in a box. Black man, black women, and we just keep disrespecting each other, and that's Willie Lynch letter. You know what I'm saying?
Well, me, like I said earlier today, guys, me personally, I think it's social engineering. That's what all this goes back to. This is the reason why we having this issue.
That's an excuse,
today.
though.
No, but let me just say this, and I remember. Are you guys familiar with Sister Shahrazad Ali? She wrote a book, The Guide. What's the title of the book? The Guide for the Black Woman to Understanding the Black Man. She wrote this book back in, I want to say 88.
80s.
80, I think it was 80s. She wrote the book back in the 80s because what Sister Shahrazad Ali said, that she noticed that the dynamic had changed between the black man and the black woman, especially with government, because believe it or not, the government had a lot to do with the black man and black woman downfall. That's the reason why you see this chaos that's going on today. And it's crazy that she prophesied that back in 88, and you see it's taking full, what's the word? Like you see it's taking full effect in today's times, in today's era. And I'm like, wow, damn, this lady professors in 88, and this shit is happening, it's really happening at full effect.
If I may ask you something,
Go ahead, brother.
You a man?
Yes, I am.
You in charge of the way you think?
Yes, I am.
You in charge of the things that come out your mouth?
Yes, I am.
So why the fuck am I gonna keep talking about what the government did?
Well, you got to understand, the government is a powerful entity.
The government is not our friend. I'm saying as a man.
They're a powerful entity.
You know what I'm saying? But as a man, why am I going to keep, instead of taking accountability for what I'm doing, I'm going to say it's what they did. We pass all that. We know what they do. We know what's going on. We all aware. You can't tell me that. It's 2024. Information is everywhere. So it's either you understand what's taking place and you say, no, I'm not going to allow them to use me as a tool, as a weapon against my own kind. I'm not going to do that. Or we can just keep saying it's their fault. I don't really care what anybody did. Right. I'm saying as we need to take responsibility as men and women and say, I'm not doing that.
I understand your position, my brother. But just like when we talked about the Willie Lynch letter, that's still taking effect to this day.
It is.
Matter of fact, Willie Lynch said that. He said, "Look,
500 years."
Yeah, he said the way you break down you break a black man down, you don't break him down physically, you break him down mentally, and that's what's been going on. Remember, we've been through chattel slavery. We face most of some of the worst atrocities in this world. So we dealt with violence our whole entire life.
We have. So why am I disrespecting the black woman that was there with me throughout those atrocities? But why am I making her feel less than important or less than human? Why am I belittling her, making her feel like she's nothing? And why are women doing the same thing to men? We were together throughout this whole process, right? The whole time we was being treated less than human, we was all together, right? All we had was each other. So now that we're in 2024, what has changed?
But do you know that blacks, there's so many blacks that are
uneducated?
Mental, that's like undiagnosed with mental problems in our community. It's true.
Niggas stop that.
No, but it's true.
We all grew up in the same same atrocities.
I understand exactly what you're saying. for me, it comes down to self-worth. Self.
That's what it boils down to.
Everything boils down to self for me. There are so many people, black people, that are lost. This right here is a powerful tool. Some days you could be on it. I'll scroll and I look up and 2 hours went by and I just sat and scrolled in my phone for 2 hours. You know what I'm scrolling, seeing for 2 hours? Programming of the same things we're talking about. This will be the downfall of a lot of people because it's literally programming your mind to pick up on
Nothing.
So until we go within ourselves individually, black women go within themselves, black men go within themselves, and start to really rebuild from the inside, it's always going to be a problem. It's always going to be back and forth until we individually take self accountability for self. What part are we playing individually? I played a big part in the sex war.
Right.
I had videos that went viral for that.
Okay.
But that's because I was hurting. That's because I didn't know who I was. That's because I had trauma. I had issues I had with men that cheated, this and that, and I carried that stuff around with me. So until I start loving me, until I got to know me, until I unpacked all that trauma that I had, I'm always going to do that. So I think it boils down to self-love, self-accountability, mental health,
Right.
all of that.
Yep.
And that takes us doing that separately. We
Yeah.
can't do that together.
Right.
It has to start from within each person.
And we are a hurt people. We're very much so hurt.
Yep.
That's the reason why you have this back and forth
Yep.
going on or whatever.
Yep.
People may mask it, try to mask
Try
it.
to mask it.
Come on now. We are a hurt people.
I agree with you. We are hurt
We're
people,
very
but-
emotional and we're hurt.
I agree with you. We're hurt people,
Yeah,
but it seems
we're
like the
hurt
only people
people.
we're hurting is each other, though.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because I, like I said, I don't like to bring other people into this conversation, but when you're dealing with other races, when black people are dealing with other race of people, those same hurt feelings or quote unquote mental whatever, it don't come out. You behave, right? You act right. You speak in a respectful manner. When you're dealing with a woman from another race or a man from a different race, you change, right? You treat that person with respect. What is it that with us where we can't do the same thing? You know what I'm saying? The excuses, we need to kill all that bullshit because it's bullshit. At the end of the day, it's either you see me as you see yourself, because that's really what it boils down to, because you don't see worth in yourself, right? That's why you don't see worth in me. But if you did see worth in yourself, you would see worth in me. You would treat me with the utmost
have to.
respect, because that's what it boils down to. But with other men and other women of different races, they don't need to bring anything else other than their culture, and you bow down to
Yeah.
them, you respect them, you give them utmost love and whatever admiration. So it's not a mental, it's a self problem,
Yeah.
like she said. You don't view worth in yourself. You know what I'm saying?
But that starts with mental though. That starts here. This controls everything.
But how can
else.
it be mental health when the other people? Because if it's mental, you can't control that, right? But when other people of the other races come around, you're able to control it. That tells me it's a choice.
But that's also mental. Think about it. When you've seen in every day, you're picking up things unconsciously. There are things happening around you that you don't even realize you're picking up on. So when you're watching TV and you're seeing black men being labeled as violent,
Right.
Yeah.
as this, and I want to use this for example, when let's say people come from Cuba, they come over here, they automatically look at a black man as here.
Yep.
A black, you think that's because they chose to do that?
No,
That's because of programming,
trained.
of
Social
what they've been
engineering.
trained, what they've seen. So people are people are picking up on things every day and not even noticing. You are being programmed to look at people a certain way. Certain races we're programmed to look at them up here. We programmed to see it. So that's why you're doing it. You're doing it almost automatically,
Inadvertently.
inadvertently, because you've been programmed to believe that they are here
Yeah.
and you're not.
Correct.
And when you see your counterpart is not here, you're going to treat them any kind of way
Yep.
because you don't even see the value in them. So that's why we do that.
Yep.
Fascinating.
I agree with that.
Points made.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't have that. I look at us as up here.
But that's because you have broken free from the matrix.
Right.
The average person has
Has not.
not.
Yep.
And we have to give them grace.
Yes.
I'm learning to give my people grace because you can't blame people for what they unconsciously don't know. So coming from love, coming within love and loving them through that, because a lot of these people don't want to do that deep down inside, but it's programmed, it's what they've been doing, and it's all they know. You got to give them
Yeah,
grace.
check this out, bro. Whenever you get a chance, I want you to do this. I want you to go to the urban community. I want you to drive through the city, drive through Overtown, and you will see the conditions that our people are in. Like walking in the streets, losing their minds, talking to themselves, punching the air. I'm telling you, just
You
do
know, you're
that.
talking to a black man.
No, but I'm just
No, I'm
telling
saying,
you, bro.
you know,
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying. So
I'm just saying,
so
you
I
will
don't
see
need a
this,
drive.
right.
I
You
already
will
know what's
see it, bro.
happening.
We are
you
a
know what I'm saying?
hurt
I'm not.
people.
I'm,
Very
you know,
hurt, man.
I'm not, you know, lost to the fact of what's going on with the different type of drugs that people are intaking
Yeah.
and stuff. You know, I see it all the time. You know, but I'm just hoping we can at least learn to respect one another. You know, and not tear each other down. You know, because like I said, if I love me, how can I then disrespect a black woman? Because she's a representation of me. You know, and the worst thing I think any man or any woman could do is go on social media and put that out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like when I go on social media, and like I said again, I dislike doing this, man. I don't like to do this one bit. Nobody else is doing that. We're the only people that's disrespecting one another.
We don't love each other. We don't love ourselves. We don't even love us.
Yep.
And I understand that we've been given every reason not to. We have. We've been given every reason not to love ourselves. From slavery on down to black men being taken out of the house,
Yep.
put in prison. Think about the journey of the black man, the black woman. We've been given reasons not to feel worthy.
Yeah, man.
So that's why it's playing out like this. But when we come back to self, meaning kings and queens, because
Yeah.
that's who we are,
We was once kings and queens.
it has to
That's right.
come back full. I believe it has to come back full circle at some point. But we have to go through this for whatever reason. God got us going through this to realize who we truly are. And in the midst of that, we have to give each other grace. We have to have podcasts like this. We have to talk like this. We have to bring it to the light,
Right.
because all we can do is give each other grace and love, project love no
Yeah.
matter what.
Yeah.
And I pray we may not be here to see it, but we'll remember our
Hey,
role.
I like that. I like that, Atara.
It's just crazy.
I like that.
It's crazy, you know, because, you know, we just watched a video of a sister getting shot by the police in her household.
Yeah.
I ain't see nobody making no big deal out of it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't see black men or black women making a big deal out of it. It's like we become like, you know, numb to this stuff.
Desensitized.
You know, it's like,
There you have it.
but to me, it's like, when I see that, that could have been my mother, could have been my sister, my wife, my daughter. How do you not get angry and upset and mad at the fact?
Right.
You know, we sitting there, you know, I see, you know, you read comments, people like, oh, she was going to throw the boil water at him. See, she's an angry black woman. Or you got, you know, sisters and brothers. I'm not blaming one side. I don't do that.
Right.
I'm saying this is the things that's coming out of our mouth. I don't give a damn if she did throw the water at him.
Right.
That water ain't going to kill that man.
Right.
You don't got to kill her like she Bro, she called you, say, I need help. I think somebody in my yard.
Yeah.
You have no business going in her house. And yet we just sit back idle like, well, it ain't affect me directly, but one day it will. It will, bro. It will. And we become, like you said, we become so numb and so desensitized, like we think everything is a game. It's not a game. If I don't love her, like I love myself, we lost the game, bro.
Yeah.
If I don't love you like I love we lost the game.
Yeah.
Because they would not allow us to do that to them.
Of course not.
There's no other race on this planet that would allow any of us to do that to them.
Right.
It'll be an all-out war, you know. And it's like, what are we doing?
Right. And to piggyback on what you said, Atara, the phone has become the new whip. That's the new whip. Yeah, that's the new whip. Like I'm telling you, the powers to be, this is how they controlling us with this phone. They whipping us mentally. It's not physical anymore. It's mental.
I'm sorry, bro. I don't blame nothing on nobody else.
No,
bro.
but I'm saying.
I don't. We control everything. And I understand you saying grace. Some people just don't know. But at some point in time, bro, you gotta wake up, bro. So we're gonna wait till 2060 to say, oh man, we've been played. By that time, it's gonna be a whole new game.
But when I say that, and I guess I'm looking at it from a different angle, but for me, I think there is a such thing as a collective consciousness. So when you just think about thought, and when you think about it from a spiritual, a deeper level, you will understand a little more why what's happening is happening.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Okay, you get what I'm saying?
Of course. Of course.
So I just feel like the only thing we can do right now, to be honest with you, is give love.
Right.
Love supersedes any other emotion. It has the highest vibration. The more people that tap into love and grace, because we all need grace, and understand that things are happening because there is a collective consciousness that moves energy. It's bigger than what we looking at on the surface. So that's just my take on it.
I see where you're going with it.
And so a lot of things happen because of that. And again, give love, give grace. You have to give love, you have to give grace, you have to give understanding.
Right.
You have to.
Yeah.
I love when y'all have these talks and y'all speak in the atmosphere. That's what I call it. But being how I am, and y'all know how I am, Tara, you, as you continue to come on here with us, you gonna know too. But if we bringing it back down to our everyday lives, and we're talking about black men versus black women, I feel like our problem is so huge. It's really, really big. And I'm not sure if I have that much grace in me. I'm just being honest. My level of grace is walking away. My level of grace is not, people in the comments or people that make comments and say stuff, I think they're not being realistic. In a realistic world, I don't sit in rooms where I'm not welcome. I don't hold conversations that I don't want to hold. And that's just my truth. If our viral moment, if a man asks me, how can my kids be an asset, baby, that's the last. I'm not giving you a response because I don't have a response. You know what I'm saying? Because I protect my peace. And that's the only way that I could give you grace, because clearly you lost. So I'm going to go ahead and go this way, and then nobody got to be lost. So when we go back to like just what we're dealing with right now, it's so hard, because then when you do things like that, people feel like you're not helping, or you're not being a helpmate to those people that are lost. Like, why you don't pick them up? I don't got it. I just don't have it in me. And that's my level of grace, because you have so many black men and black women that literally tear each other apart every day. You can say anything and they're going to find a negative. Anything you say without even trying to get any level of understanding. And like you said, when you look at other races, they don't really, with us, they don't really do that. And I'm only saying that based on my own opinion, my own experiences. This is not me guessing. I'm saying I have said so many things on this podcast, and the responses I get from, let's say, a Caucasian is completely different from what I get from an African American man. Completely different, far end of each spectrum. And it's ridiculous, because you want to tear a black woman down. This whole conversation about alpha, we had this conversation about alpha. And you have black men going crazy in the comments, looking for the negative, not trying to get an understanding, not saying, well, let me listen so I can comprehend and just maybe even get an understanding of where she's coming from. It's an automatic, woman can't be alpha. You alpha or you soft. You understand what I'm saying? As opposed to saying, damn, okay, I kind of see what she's saying. I kind of see what she's experiencing. I understand where you're coming from. I don't like your term. I don't like the word you're using, but I actually do understand what's happening. Instead, you have a black man that will try to tear a woman down. And this is an everyday experience. So you have a black man in the comments saying, "Oh, because you got 4 or 5 baby daddies," because and that's, to me, that's so I don't have no grace for you. The only grace I got for you is walking away from that. I don't. You don't deserve my energy in that conversation because it's worthless. Any back and forth is not going to get anywhere.
When I say grace, I simply mean no judgment.
Right.
No, of course you never give your energy to something that don't even make sense. That's never do that. But when I say, for example, how you say they'll put something crazy in the comments, my grace is you are where you are.
Yep.
Right.
Because you're there
And
you got to go through that for you to get to your highest self. And I understand that. So
Yep.
I give you grace. I give you love.
Yep.
Because I know you can only see from
Where
where
you
you
are.
are.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's the grace
Yeah.
I mean.
I
like
figured.
just you get what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Just give those people
Yeah.
who are where they are. That's where you are. I respect that. I still love you. And let's move on.
Right.
Yep. That's
You
that
have
everything
to.
ain't for everybody.
I
'cause
don't
Jesus.
think our problem as a people is a deep one as we think it is. I think it's very simple. And what I mean by that is if somebody does something to you and I'm around,
You should be.
that's not happening. Something does something to Al, it's that simple. I'm not going to let you do anything to anybody that I'm around that's like me, that looks like me, that's incorrect, especially if you're abusing them. But if we just sit back idle and let things happen, we don't never stand up for each other, things will never change. See, everybody's waiting for God to come and bring change, or everybody's waiting for revelation at the end of time. God bless the child that can hold his own. You see what I'm saying? God ain't going to help you if you're not willing to fight. If all you're doing is sitting down and letting things happen to you, well, you think God is going to be like, I'm going to change your everything for you. I'm going to change things for the race. It doesn't work that way, bro. If you're not willing to stand up and fight for what you believe in, for your own people, why is God going to do that for you? You can't name me a story in the Bible where people didn't fight for change.
Yeah, I mean, I do believe, work with faith without works is dead. I believe it. But you got to understand, brother.
There's no but. Once you
Right.
said that, there's no but.
No, but listen, but this fight's been going on before me and you was even
It doesn't matter.
It's
This is
been
where it should.
going on.
No, see, that's an excuse. This is where it should end.
But
Because
it's
I have
been
kids.
going
You have
on.
kids?
Yeah, of course.
You
I
going to
do.
have grandkids?
Of course.
This is where it
Hopefully
ends.
if, you know what I'm saying?
No, but this is where it ends right here. When we're no longer here, our kids shouldn't have to keep fighting the same battle that we're fighting
bro,
right
it's
now.
easy to say it.
No, it's not easy.
You know why?
It's easy.
I'm gonna
Come
say
on, I
this.
don't want to get deep.
Let me say this. Let me say this, Rob. The reason why it's so easy to say that, brother, there's some people that are not like-minded like you. You see how you're thinking? Some people don't think like that.
Bro, you ain't gotta
But listen,
think
just listen,
like me,
brother.
bro.
Listen, my brother. Some people wake up with violence on their mind every day.
Nigga, that's a good thing. But
So
where are
you-
you channeling
no,
that
no,
violence
listen.
to? Why are you channeling the violence to why you robbing a woman? Or you killing another black man you angry. You fucked up out here. You can't eat. Life is hell.
Okay.
But I'm not the cause of it.
Okay.
So why are you directing it towards me?
But see, but that's my thing. That's
What's
what
the
I'm
thing?
trying to tell you, my brother. Everyone is not like-minded. Like, of course, I would love to wake up and I'm living in a peaceful world that black people, we're all together and we're getting along with each other. Bro, but you gotta understand, this shit is deep. It's deeper
Man,
than just.
I don't look
it's
at it that
that's
way.
deep,
to
man.
me the
I don't look at that.
It's
there is
deeper
no
than that.
value.
Yeah.
There is no value. When you don't value
Yeah.
something, you
It's
treat it
deeper
like
than that, man.
No, but see, I just refuse to play like as if like, it's so complex. It's not complex. That's an excuse. You know what I'm saying? We just been passing it along. So we're just gonna pass it on to our kids. And they're gonna pass it on to their kids.
Okay, but
and
let
they're
me
gonna
say
keep
this.
going.
But-
At what point do we say enough is enough?
Okay, but check this out. Let me
and
say
then
this.
once I'm sorry.
No, go
once
ahead,
we
Tom. Go
say enough is enough, then like you give me your solution.
My solution is quite simple, right? Don't nothing move in this country without us, right? So we look at the dollar bill saying God we trust. Who's God? God, oil, and drugs, right? So who makes the majority of the money in this country? You can say, oh, the billionaires do blah, blah, blah. It's the average worker that makes all the money in this country. Who is the average worker? We don't have majority of the millionaires and billionaires in this country. We're the workers. We're the workhorse, right? So if I disagree with the way I'm being treated, my people's being treated as a whole, and to be quite frank, it's not just us that's being mistreated, right? So if I want to change things, right? This is a simple thing called strike. I don't got to go to war with you because I ain't got the guns to fight you, right? You got more guns than me. You got everything. You got the army. But if I say, if we are on one accord and we say, you know what, we want to change things, and this is how we're going to change things. You know, for 1 week, everybody stay home. For 2 weeks, everybody stay home. You can't cut my light bill, my light off. You know why? Because I'm not at work. So who's gonna cut your light off? You can't cut my water off because the waterman is home, right? Everybody's home. That's how you bring about change. That's how you change the system. But if we just playing the same game, right? We're just going along with it. And then we saying, you know, one day, you know, God is going to help us. One day God is going to, this doesn't work.
But let me say this too,
It's
my
not
brother.
gonna work
But
that
let me
way.
say this. But do you know that you do have sambos that are behind the scenes that's
I don't
playing- No,
care.
but
You know what I'm
but okay,
saying?
matter of fact, if you ever get a chance, I know you're familiar with W.E. Du Bois, correct?
Yeah, of course.
W.E. Du Bois wrote a
I
book.
know
The
he was
10
I know
Right.
I know what he did.
That is still going on in our community today,
But
my
bro,
brother.
I
That's
don't-
why I said it's deeper.
I'm
Like,
just saying to you. Listen to
I
what I'm
get
saying
what
to
you're
you,
saying,
bro.
my
Listen,
brother.
there's
I
a
get
million
it.
reasons why you should sit down, but it's also 100 million reasons why you need to stand up.
I get it.
Again, like I said, you have children.
Of course.
You want your children to suffer the same fate you suffering.
Of course not.
So then, what are we talking about, bro?
But it's easy said and it's easy, bro. It's so easy to say that. You got to understand, our situation is complex. Malcolm X tried to save the black race.
You
They knocked him off. Marcus Garvey tried to save the black race. Knocked the brother off. Martin Luther King tried to save us. He got knocked off.
Can I ask y'all a question? Have you ever thought about this from a deeper stance?
Spiritual.
That's how I look at it.
have.
That's the way I look
Read
at
the
it.
Bible, I understand.
Not even, I don't want to say not. This will require, because I don't really want to say this on camera,
No, say it. Say
but
it.
there's, to me, something deeper. Way, way, way,
Deeper.
way,
Thank
way,
you.
way deeper than what we see on the surface.
Thank you.
Of course,
It logically makes no sense.
none of it makes sense.
And so when I run into things that logically don't make sense, I have to go a spiritual route with it.
Yes.
You have to.
It's something way deeper up under the surface as to why black people, not just in America,
Worldwide. There you
around the
go.
world,
But why? See, you see, I realized that a long time ago, and I say to myself, "Damn, throughout this whole world, we're the only people that's being held I call it captive. That's being held down. Why is that? Why are we the ones that, out of everyone else, everybody's walking free, everybody's mentally free, and quote unquote they think they are, but why are we the only ones that's really being held down here? And I've never met anybody that's able to give me that answer.
There's a lady, I cannot think of her name. I'm gonna have to ask my mom, who had a theory, and it's so deep, it's insane. Her theory, real quick, as we know, black people were the first humans on Earth. That's a fact.
That's factual.
There was a mutation that took place,
Yeah, we know about that. It's in the Bible too.
which birthed a different color. That different color was, you gotta go. It's a mutation. Where this come from? What's going on? And like in the animal kingdom, when an animal has a runt or a baby that is not of the pack, you cast it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were casted out to go fend for themselves. You imagine being cast out, having to fend for yourself for thousands and thousands of years in climates that were insane.
Yeah.
That breeds resentment, hate. It's a whole thing,
It's deep, man.
but it makes so
Of course it does.
much sense.
Of course it does.
We are going through what we going through because we got to.
Thank you. I say that all the time. Thank you, my sister. I say
And
it
I'ma
all the
leave it
time.
at
Like
Thank you,
I said,
Tara. I appreciate
I don't
that,
think
man.
we have to go
I say
through
that all the
anything
time.
we don't want to go through. I think there's always
I
an
mean,
option.
So I agree with both of you guys, right? So we're going through what we're going through because we have to as a people. But I also believe what you're saying. You don't, as an individual, I don't have to go through anything I don't want to go
I
through.
agree.
And so my resolution to that is on a personal standpoint, on one-on-one.
Okay.
Big
Doing the
facts.
work within yourself
Right,
is what's
right.
going to change.
Right.
And we kind of touched bases on that before. We just talked about raising kids. You understand? If you raising your kids in a certain type of way, they should not be going through what you went through.
Big
Right.
facts.
If you're doing what you're supposed to do.
Big facts.
We really don't have any more time to talk about the topic, but I loved everybody's points on it. It was
I
very
think it was a really good conversation. I
conversation.
mean, once
Love it.
again, man, as
Love it.
always, please make sure you guys like, subscribe. You know what I'm saying?
And hit the like button.
Ding. You know what time it is, and we appreciate and love y'all, man. Change tomorrow today.
Thank
Peace.
you.